What's up, guys? This is Geo back for episode 3, week 4 of a 1500 UU series. In the last episode, we played absolutely terribly, and our rating is down to 1296. We're still going to be using Liberal Lucario's team. We're going to jump right into the first match, and I'm playing significantly earlier in the day, so hopefully that clears up my decision-making process. He probably has physically defensive Tentacruel, specially defensive Umbreon. That thing is annoying. Either Life Orb or Lead, Azelf, Specs, Noivern, and whatever. Cofagrigus does a lot of different things. So I'm going to lead with Swampert to get my rocks up, as he leads with Ambipom. That's fine with me. I'm just going to go ahead and get my rocks up, because I know he's going to fake out this turn. So that's fine with me. If there's anything I want taking chip damage, it's probably Swampert. I am going to go ahead and start the timer on him. So he goes ahead and uses Fake Out. That is about 30%, and that hurts. I'm going to get my rocks up, though. Hopefully... Okay, he just U-turns out. If he goes into Azelf, it's fairly obvious he has Energy Ball, but it doesn't look like he does. So here's Cofagrigus. I'm kind of expecting a Willow, but I don't want to get hit with like a Shadow Ball or anything. I'm going to go out into Houndoom here, hopefully taking the Willow. Ends up going for the knockoff. Still doesn't hurt me that much. I'm going to be able to hit him up with the Dark Pulse, which is going to do a lot of damage. He ends up going into Tentacruel, which is the smart play for him. And it holds that Dark Pulse really well, so that's probably specially defensive Tentacruel. So I don't really have a whole lot to counter this thing. I'll probably just go into Swampert to take the water move. Yeah, here's the Skull. Don't burn me, please. I get the burn. That's great. I don't think he has... Oh, Tentacruel is his spinner, but I want an Earthquake to get damage off on this Tentacruel, because it's really annoying. Wait, is he a Assault Vest Tentacruel? I didn't see any Black Sludge recovery. He's probably Assault Vest Tentacruel. That stinks. So he probably has Rapid Spin, Sludge Bomb, Knockoff, and Scald, if I am correct. Also, they changed the YouTube chat room to media, so that's a thing now. I am going to be able to live another Scald, so I'm just going to set up my rocks, because I want rocks up for this match. And yeah, I want my rocks. And if he ends up, he doubles out into Azelf here, or he goes out into Azelf. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Scald here. He was probably predicting the Earthquake, but that's good with me, because his Tentacruel will be awful darn close to being knocked out on the switch. So I see no Life Orb recoil, so I'm assuming that's Specs Azelf. I'm going to go into my Houndoom here. It might be Expert Belt, but I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. It's either a Scarf or Specs. He ends up going out into Tentacruel, which is good for me, which means my rocks are up for the match. I'm kind of expecting to see Ambipom come in here to fake me out, and that is what happens. I'm going to go out into... Let's see. I'm going to go out into my Florges here to take the hit. It's a crit, and it does 40%. That's great. I'm going to Moonblast this thing. Hopefully it doesn't have, like, Poison High Five or whatever. Poison. Does Ambipom get Poison Jab? Learn Ambipom Poison. Let me spell. Gets Return. Moonblast does a good amount to it, but I am going to die to another return. So I'm going to go into my Jirachi here. Probably. Yeah, I'm going to go into my Jirachi. Take this return. Eat it up, because it is resisted. And hit you with this Iron Head. And so I'm going to smack whatever comes in with an Iron Head. It's probably going to be Cofagrigus, which is a good play on his part. Here comes Cofagrigus. But I have things to deal with this. I'm expecting the knockoff, so I'm going to go into Florges, maybe? Yeah, I'm going to go into Florges and try to get a Wish off. Here comes the knockoff. It does all of 5%, so here's this Wish. Hopefully you switch and think you can't do anything to me because because you think I'm specially defensive Florges. I am able to tank the Shadow Ball. He gets the Spadef drop, but that's fine because Florges has now essentially returned from the grave and is going to be able to be used later to take on Umbreon, which is going to be cool. But my general plan on dealing with Umbreon here is keep Mew around, and if he goes for Toxic, give him Toxic with Synchronize. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's probably, if he's smart, he's going to go for the Shadow Ball now. Does around 25%. He gets another Spadef drop, which is a bit unfortunate. But I'm just going to try to Wish Protect up until I'm up to a good amount of HP, and then go out into my Houndoom, because I'm fairly certain he can't do anything to my Houndoom, which is cool. He's probably going to switch here, knowing I'm going to Protect. So I'm considering going for the Moonblast, but no, he stays in, ends up going for the Curse. Ouch. That was a really good play on his part. I'm gonna double out into my Houndoom here, because Houndoom has a fairly good matchup against this dude's entire team. I believe it has like base 115 speed, so it's not gonna be able to outspeed Noivern, but it's still gonna be able to do a lot of damage. And now he has his best switch now is his Umbreon here, as we do see the Umbreon come on out. It's gonna do about 15% to Umbreon, and I'm gonna go into Mew to try to bounce or to try to synchronize a Toxic here. Yeah, there's the Toxic, so his Umbreon is now Toxic. I'm going to knock off its leftovers here. Hopefully he goes into Cofagrigus, because that'd be really, really cool. But, okay, he just stays in, so he ends up losing his leftovers, which is cool. He's going to go for the Foul Play. That does a lot more damage than I would have liked, but I can now just double out into my Florges and Wish Protect until this thing is dead. He ends up going for the Heal Bell, so that's a little bit annoying. But I'm going to go straight away for the Moonblast here and hit him up with a hit that probably won't do too much. If it does like 30%, then I'm good with that. But here comes Cofagrigus. I'm okay with this because I can knock him out with another Moonblast. So look at Florges just putting on the offensive pressure on this dude's team right now. That's actually pretty cool. He doesn't have a lot of safe switch-ins for this thing. I mean, he had Tentacruel to try to deal with it, but that obviously didn't work too well. Well, it did work. I mean, he just got a lucky burn on Swampert. That prevented me from knocking it out earlier, but I was able to get my rocks up, so I do take the 5-4 lead in the match, but it's really a lot closer than that, because my Jirachi is worn down a little bit, my Florges is worn down a little bit, my Mew is significantly injured. But his best switch right here is probably Ambipom, but it looks like I'm lagging. Yeah, so here comes Ambipom. I'm going to go out into my Rachi here, I guess. Do I go out into Jirachi? Yeah, I'm going to go out into Jirachi here to take the Fake Out and another crit. But I'm going to go for the Iron Head. Last time his return did about 25%. It does 29 this time. So I am able to knock his Ambipom out with the Iron Head, giving me the 5-3 lead. But at this point, Jirachi probably isn't going to be doing that much, because it is susceptible to the foul play of the Umbreon. That's what I was looking for there. So I'm going to go for the U-turn here, although I'm fairly certain he's Scarf Azelf. Yeah, that looks like Scarf Azelf. Even though, like, I am max speed, but he would already outspeed even if I was max speed. So I'm going to come in with Hydreigon here and drop a Draco on whatever wants to come in, because I don't think he's going to want to stand with Azelf, especially if he is Scarfed. But he decides just to sack Azelf. That's a pretty good play on his part. Noivern ends up coming on out. This is probably Specs Noivern, but I'm going to go into my Florges to take whatever... Actually, no, I'm going to go into Mew and sack Mew. As he ends up going for the Air Slash. Okay, that's good for me. I'm going to go for the knockoff. And, oh wow, I get the flinch. Alright, so Toxic is going to take me out there, but no worries. I'm going to be able to go out into my Hydreigon. I believe I outspeed unless he's Scarf Noivern. He is Specs Noivern. I'm going to be able to take him out with the Draco. So that leaves me in a very, very good position for this match, because I can essentially come in with Florges and Wish Protect / Aromatherapy my way to victory here. I'm gonna so I have 8 aromatherapies. He has a lot of toxics. Let's see. What is he gonna do here? This is actually a fairly long match. Another fairly long match. But that's fine. I am going for the aromatherapy. He ends up going for the wish. I'm going to wish on this turn as well, expecting him to protect, but he ends up going for the toxic. That's fine by me. I'm going to go for another aromatherapy. He ends up going for the foul play. That's fine. Now I am back at a good amount of HP, and we're going to scout how much Moonblast does. Moonblast does about 52%, which is great. And he misses the toxic, which is pretty much going to put this game in wraps. So that is a good game. And we are back above 1,300. Thank goodness. We're going to try to grab one more match. And I feel like I am playing a lot better earlier in the day. So I'm going to try to continue to do that. I know Galvantula is probably going to want to lead for him. So I'm going to lead with Jirachi. And get off a couple of Iron Heads. What? Did I just battle this person? No. I don't want to. Sorry. I'm recording. I am going to hit him up with the Iron Head, which does flinch Galvantula. That's cool. So I'm just going to continue to go for Iron Heads and hope for flinches, because I have a 60% chance of flinching him, and he's probably really, really mad right now. If I flinch him one more time, no Sticky Web, and that means no Sticky Web for him. And that is the beauty of Jirachi. This essentially forces him into his Blastoise or Cloyster, but I'm going to do about 28% to that thing. I'm just going to hit him up with the Energy Ball. Expert Belt Jirachi is putting in a lot of work early in this match. I wouldn't be surprised if he forfeits right here. Probably Crocodile, is either Crocodile or Typhlosion. Here comes Crocodile, that's fine. I'm going to go straight away for the U-turn to get out of here. I get a crit, it's super effective, that's cool. Anticipating the Earthquake, I'm going into High Dragon here. He ends up going for the knockoff. That does a lot, my lord. But now I am no longer Specs, which is, I suppose, good. I'm going to be able to hit him up with this Flamethrower. I'm no longer Scarfed. Looks like he wasn't Scarfed either. And now I can potentially do a lot of work to his team. Galvantula comes on out. I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse here. Even if he Bug Buzzes, I'm okay. But looks like he wasn't running Max Speed Galvantula for whatever weird reason. Here comes Crobat. Expecting the U-turn, I'm going out into Florges. Hopefully he doesn't go for a Poison move. Ends up going for the Brave Bird. That is a lot. Uh-oh. Now expecting the Poison move, I'm probably going to go out and... Oh no, that's Spidef Mew. I forgot. Expecting the Poison move, I'm going to go out into Jirachi here. Hopefully I'm going to be able to... Jirachi is his team's best answer to Crobat. Jirachi usually is a good answer to Crobat. So I was able to kind of bait him into going for Cross Poison right there, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here because I know I'm not going to outspeed. Hopefully he U-turns out into either Typhlosion or, well, that's his only two things he can U-turn out into. But he opts to stay in, goes for the Whirlwind. Whirlwinds me out into my Florges, which is okay for me. I'm going to go for the Protect to scout what he wants to go for. As he ends up going out into Typhlosion, so that's okay. I'm not really sure what he wants to go for here, but I'm going to go out into Spidef Mew because generally Mew has a great matchup against Typhlosion. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer here. Let's see. Okay, so he's going to go for the Eruption. That's a crit. It's a crit. And I'm going to go for the knockoff here. He ends up going for the Eruption. It looks like he is locked into Eruption, so that's fine with me. I'm going to stay in and Nasty Plot. Or actually, I'm going to go straight away for the Dark Pulse, expecting Crobat, but Blastoise ends up coming in. That's okay. Mega Blastoise is a problem. I'm going out into Florges to try to do some work against this thing. But it looks like Houndoom has the potential to clean up his team if I'm able to knock out Crobat. So however I want to knock out Crobat's cool. Water Pulse is about 34%. No confusion for him. I'm going to go ahead and wish up here and try to get up to a decent amount of HP. No confusion, please. No confusion. Good. I'm going to protect here, get back up to a good amount of HP. Crobat gets a switch in, but Florges is up at a good amount of HP. I'm going to protect here to scout what he wants to go for. Fairly certain it's just going to be a Cross Poison, but it may be a Brave Bird expecting Jirachi. Ends up going for the Whirlwind. Whirlwinds me out into Team Player Swampert. That's fine for me. I'm going to go for my Rocks. That does about 32% because Swampert is so awesome. and then I'm going to go for the Scald here, expecting him to defog. No, he just goes for another Brave Bird. The Scald is not, you are not going to appreciate this. I'm kind of fishing for burns here. Hopefully, if I snag a burn, then I pretty much lock up the match. He ends up going for the defog. That's fine. If I get the burn, it's over. Nope. I'm going to go for the Earthquake here, expecting Roost. Oh, no. I'm an idiot. But he knocks himself out to Brave Bird Recoil. The best play for me right there would have, knowing that he would have knocked himself out to Brave Bird, since I already knew his moveset, would have been to put up my rocks so that Typhlosion was hurt on the switch and Eruption would not do as much damage. But since I haven't Mega'd yet, I'm not too worried because I can come in and absorb the Fire move. Whichever Fire move he wants to go for. He ends up going for the Water Pulse here. That's fine with me because I still have Expert Belt Jirachi. Expert Belt Jirachi is going to hit him up with this Energy Ball. That just misses out on the KO. I am going to get knocked out by Dark Pulse, so that kind of stinks. Getting a little nervous here, but I do have High Dragon, which can go straight away for the Dark Pulse and force Typhlosion to knock himself in on a really crappy move. Hold on. I apologize. I'm not feeling too well today. Let's see. What did I end up knocking something off of his Mew? No. Alright. I'm going to go for the Draco here as he's forced to go for the Eruption. It just misses out on the KO. I'm going to be able to do a lot of damage there, and he ends up forfeiting. So that is a good game. We're going to go ahead and grab one more, just because I'm playing well. I want to extend the streak as long as possible. Let's see who we get matched up with. And I know I've said it a lot of times in this session, but this is a really well-built team, Liberal Lucario. Thank you very much. So I see Galvantula, expecting a Galvantula lead. Oh, actually, I should probably break down the rest of his team. Scarf Darmanitan, Sticky Web lead, Galvantula, specially defensive Trevenant, physically defensive Swampert, Mega Blastoise, and Rotom. I'm going to lead with Jirachi, expecting Galvantula lead. Here is Galvantula. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Iron Head. What am I going to do against this now? Expecting the Volt Switch, I'm going to U-turn. Meaning that I get better switch initiative than he does. I can also get a switch out into Mew depending on what he goes out into. He ends up going out to Rotom Heat, so I feel safe going out into Mew right here because I know Mew could take whatever hit this thing wants to go for. I'm expecting him to trick me a Scarf, so I'm just gonna go for the defog here. He ends up going for the Volt Switch, probably gonna try to go back out into Trevenant, or not back out into Trevenant. Ends up going out into Darmanitan. That's fine by me. Now he knows that I have Houndoom, so he's probably going to be a little wary to go for any fire move. He might try to go for a superpower or an earthquake. I'm going to go out in a Swampert here to take any hit he wants to go for. He could also very well go for the U-turn. And that would kind of stink if he ends up going for that. We're going to check for lag here. The one problem that I have experienced with this team when just playing around on alts is it's very susceptible to Banded Darmanitan, because Banded Darmanitan can just kind of U-turn until High Dragon's gone and then Flare Blitz everything. But, you know, every team has its flaws and whatnot. So here is Swampert out against Trevenant. This is not a matchup that I like at all. I'm going to end up going into High Dragon here to take the Willow or Leech Seed. Ends up going for the Curse. That is not cool. You are not cool. I'm gonna go for the Dark Pulse here because I have Florges to wish up on stuff later, so that's cool. He ends up going out into Swampert. Let's see how much this does. That does about 35%, so I feel comfortable going out into my Florges here and trying to Moonblast you to death. Here are the rocks, fairly early rocks. That's fine with me. I still have Defog Mew. I'm going to go ahead and go for a Moonblast here, expecting Rotom Heat. Darmanitan ends up coming in. That's cool. I'm going to go for the Protect to scout what he wants to go for, because it's going to lock him into one move. He ends up going for the Flare Blitz, meaning that I'm going to get a... so now I'm going to go out into... Let's see. I'm trying to think here. Because if he is indeed Banded Darmanitan, and I expect he is because he's running Sticky Web, then I know he's locked into Flare Blitz, and he knows that I have Flash Fire Houndoom. So I'm thinking he's going to double out into something to take on Houndoom, which would probably be Swampert. So I'm going to go out into my Jirachi. Yeah, here's Swampert. Alright, sweet. So now I can go for an Expert Belt Energy Ball and pretty much destroy this thing. He probably doesn't think I have anything to hit Swampert. Hopefully he doesn't, and I'm able to knock it out. So there goes Swampert. Um, that was a very, very risky prediction there, because if he had just continued to go for Flare Blitz, then I would have lost Jirachi, and that would have really stunk. I'm gonna go for the Shadow Ball. No, I'm gonna go for the U-turn here. It's not gonna do, or it's gonna hit Galvantula neutrally, which is fine. That just means I'm going to go out into. I believe I can tank a hit from him, even if he uses Bug Buzz, even if he's max special attack. We're gonna check for lag again. Showdown is lagging a little bit this morning, but it's probably on my end. Let's see. Alright, so I do get caught in the sticky web, but I'm going to go ahead and defog away his hazards. All of them. He has nothing to stop me from doing so. That does about 49%, which isn't necessarily great. Expecting him to either Bug Buzz or set up web again, I'm going to go out into Houndoom here, because Houndoom can pretty much take the hit. Wow, Houndoom did not take the hit as well as I thought he would, so I'm going to have to double back out into Florges, I guess. I have nothing for this Galvantula here, especially when it continues to go for Bug Buzz. But I'm just going to go for the Moonblast here. Hopefully, it's going to be able to knock him out. This forces him to set up a Sticky Web or be knocked out, or set up a Sticky Web or save his Galvantula. Ends up sacking his Galvantula. But now Darmanitan pretty much has its way with my team. I'm going to go for the Protect to scout what he wants to go for here. He ends up locking himself into Flare Blitz. I feel comfortable going out into Houndoom now. Hopefully taking this Flare Blitz. Yep, that is what ends up happening. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here. I'm going to stay normal form to take hits from this to take hits from Darmanitan later. Against this, what do I have? Probably Swampert's my best thing to take it on. No, man. No. Florges is indeed my best thing to take this thing on. Ends up going for the Aura Sphere, does absolutely nothing. That's pretty cool. So the plan is to Wish Pass out into something. Hopefully my Mew. If I can get a Wish Pass out into my Mew, that's going to be really cool, because then I can defog away any hazards. He ends up going out into Rotom Heat, so here comes Mew, because I know Mew can take whatever hit this Rotom Heat wants to go for. So here's Mew. Don't get a crit overheat or something. Yeah, there's the trick. I was kind of expecting the trick the entire match. I just see it now. That's fine, because now I can go for the Choice Scarf Defog and get rid of his hazards for the match, which is great. Which means I'm no longer susceptible to Sticky Web, and I can easily come in and outspeed Darmanitan. But at this point, Mew kind of puts Rotom Heat under wraps, but so does Florges. Mew could help against Trevenant, but I still have Houndoom and Hydreigon around. And Mew's not really going to help against Blastoise. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and sack Mew here to probably ends up going for the Choice Banded U-turn. He ends up doubling out into Rotom Heat, so that's fine with me, because I'm going to be able to go out into my Florges and Wish Pass out into something else, because I know he's going to go for the Volt Switch. Oh, man. Ends up going for the Overheat here, choosing to lower his special attack. That's fine with me, because when he Volt Switches, I'm going to be able to hit something on the switch. Ends up hard switching out into Darmanitan. I'm going to Protect to see what he wants to go for. Because if he ends up just going for the U-turn, ends up going for the Flare Blitz, so he's going to be locked into Flare Blitz. I'm going to go out into my Houndoom. Since I haven't Mega'd yet, I can still take whatever hit he wants to go for, because he's locked into Flare Blitz. Ends up going out into Rotom Heat. That is fine with me. Data, Rotom, H, Data, Houndoom. Okay, so I know I am faster than this thing, but I don't really want to stay in. I'm going to go out into my Swampert, because I know the Volt Switch is probably coming here. I'm going to block his Volt Switch and set up my Rocks, which is going to help me deal with this Volt Turn team, because it is very Volt Turny. Because he does have Galvantula, Darmanitan, and Rotom Heat. But here comes Trevenant. I'm not really fearing this thing yet. I'm going to end up going for the Roar and just get him out, expecting him to curse, predicting the switch. He ends up cursing, predicting the switch. That's fine with me. He ends up harvesting his Citrus Berry, but I'm going to roar him out into Blastoise. Blastoise is not necessarily the thing that I wanted to roar him out into, but it can probably help. But it helps because I get more hazard damage up. He ends up spinning. I forgot that Blastoise got Rapid Spin for a minute. But I'm just going to double out into Swampert, predicting the Rotom H. Ends up going for the Ice Beam, so he packs Ice Beam. Okay. Was not expecting that. I'm going to go back into my Florges. Probably need to stop over predicting here. Ends up going for the Aura Sphere. Does absolutely nothing. Just going to wish up here. So as long as I keep Florges around, I can protect and see what his Darmanitan wants to do. Dang it, he ends up harvesting his Citrus Berry. That is a bit unfortunate. I'm kind of expecting the curse here. So I'm going to go out into my Houndoom. Let me see. Oh, they changed the YouTube chat room to media chat room, so that's interesting, I guess. Ends up getting the Toxic off. That's a bit unfortunate. I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse here. He's probably going to curse. Ends up going for the Protect. Dang it. I have Aromatherapy on Florges, but I'm not sure how long I want to stay on with Houndoom. He ends up doubling out into Rotom H here. That's fine with me. That is a lot of damage. So I'm going to go back out into my Florges. My plan is to Aromatherapy. No! Dang it. As soon as the animation started, I was like, wait, I have Swampert. But, I guess Florges isn't terrible for me to have out right now. He ends up going out into Trevenant, which is fine with me, because I can go for the Aromatherapy and cure my team of the things that are scary. He ends up harvesting his Citrus Berry, which is fine. I'm going to go out into my Jirachi here. Expecting... He ends up going for the Toxic. Jirachi pretty much walls this set, with the exception of Curse. I'm expecting to see a Curse here, but I lose nothing by going for Shadow Ball. He ends up cursing and knocking out his own Trevenant, which is fine with me, because Trevenant was one of the only things stopping me from just freely switching in and out with Florges. I know I have Swampert here, so I'm just going to go out into that. Ends up going for the Overheat. Isn't going to be able to knock me out. I'm going to go ahead and get up my rocks as kind of a last-ditch effort, which forces his Blastoise back in. He's going to forfeit. That gets me up to 1359. So we gained about 60 to 70 points in this episode, so that was really cool. Again, shout out to Liberal Lucario for the team, aka Nolan. I really appreciate it. It's helped me a lot. But with that, make sure to leave a like if you guys did enjoy the episode, as it really does make sure that, as it tells me that you guys are enjoying the content that I am producing. Also, make sure to answer today's comment question of the day. Have you guys ever tried a Harvest Trevenant? I know I have. It's really, really cool. It's also really annoying. And with that, make sure I urge you to subscribe if you guys are enjoying the constant content. With that, I'll catch you on the flip-flop.